Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host, and we are here in October, Spooktober, the spooky month of October leading up to Halloween. And I wanted to show you another handful of horror and mystery comics. This time it's going to be primarily gold key stuff from the Bronze Age with some newer stuff. And this was a good era for the horror mystery comics. Of course, they weren't so horrifying, not like the pre-code horror, and of course these were also aimed for younger readers, but still, pretty good for younger readers. But I want to start off here with this 15 center is Gold Keys Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery. I forgot what number this is. This is from 1973, number 46. And this particular one is one of my favorites, this particular issue. Of course, there's our man Boris. How come I couldn't find my Boris drawing? Oh well, doesn't matter. This has got the black monkey fed by hatred as he pursues his master's killer. Yeah. And now in the Boris Karloff titles, of course, Gold Key had several horror/mystery titles like Grimm's Ghost Stories, of course, Boris Karloff, Believe It or Not, Twilight Zone, and some others. And they were very good. Unfortunately, they usually didn't give credits. But you can notice this is they all had some great painted covers like this one. This sure looks like a George Wilson cover painting. Now, like I said, although this looks like Boris here, that's not him. I checked to make sure it's not Boris, but in the story, but because it had been quite a while since I'd read it. But yeah. And this is now Boris Karloff stories had a tendency, not always, to revolve around some kind of monsters, visible, tangible, or not monsters, compared to some of the others, like the Prince's Shadow. And this is one. This is one that was written by, drawn by Jose Delbo. At least it looks like Jose Delbo. No credits, but it sure looks like Jose Delbo. This is about medieval times, and this prince turned into this monster, except for his head, via magic, and then eventually gets turned back. Here's one with some aliens testing, and this is some really nice drawing. Is this Frank Boll? I think it's Frank Boll doing the artwork. Sure looks like him. And I'm not sure how. There's the Black Monkey. This is the story I really like, and I don't know who did the artwork on this, but it's some real nice. Someone I recognize that hand and gun. He's the guy who used to do Bonanza, and I don't remember his name. And this is the monkey. And the monkey keeps getting bigger, and then here's another one guy. Guy turns into a frog and stuff. And this some really good ones. And this one, I did a whole episode on this particular on one story from this issue, The Mystic and the Monster and Other Thrillers. And I love this cover painting. It's like one of the suspension bridges. This is what was supposed to be either New York or San Francisco, I don't remember. And it's like I said, it has more monsters in it. And don't play that ukulele because it has a bunch of monsters. And yeah, this is about some monsters too. This is the story. I really like this one. This one was. I don't know. I think when I covered it, I think I knew who it was, but I don't remember. Some of it makes me think of Dick Giordano, like maybe the Inks or something. I don't know. It might just be a resemblance. Oh, the Dragon's Bride. And so, like I said, all good. That's Boris Karloff. This is from 75, number 64 from 75. Yeah. Then we go here to. This is still 75, I think. This is actually Whitman, but what was actually Gold Key, because they had used their Whitman imprint for the packages of three. I think it was three comics in a bag that they sold at department stores. But this is Dr. Spectre presents Spine-Tingling Tales, Mysteries, Ghost Stories, Tales of the Macabre, and another great cover painting. And I can't remember if because this has a story that I could, but this is just all reprinting other stuff. To a couple of stories here. The Burial at Sea. This is actually a reprint from Grimm's Ghost Stories. And then the second story is Midnight Mysteries, which was a feature that they had in their digest comics before they actually started the Dr. Spectre line. And it was written by Don Gluten and drawn by Jesse Santos, and it was eventually also later printed in. I can't remember if it was actually in Dr. Spectre or not, but the vampire, it's a vampire story, beautifully drawn. But this vampire became a recurring character in the Dr. Spectre title. Then, of course, Ripley's Believe It or Not, True Ghost Stories. I think I did an episode covering a couple of stories in here, and they, Ripley's Believe It or Not was actually used not necessarily true stories, but it was true that the stories were out there. They were legitimate stories, but they may not have, that they were ghost stories that they were drawing from, but that's not to say that they're actually true. And so, they had some great artwork and some great writing in these, all of these. And of course, they did a whole thing about Ripley's Believe It or Not. This is also 75 or 76. Same goes for this one. Ripley's Believe It or Not, Two True Ghost Stories. Weird, eerie, authentic. I don't think I showed what pretty things can I salvage from the dead tonight? The ghost of Madge Fig. That night 30 years ago. Always a $6 Million Man ad for the action figure. Some good, nice artwork, nice drawing. As I've said many times, they were very slick and very professional for a Gold Key. They may not have been as dynamic as Marvel and DC, but they were very good, very professionally done, and stories well told. Now, I've been saying many times that in recent times that the storytelling is outstanding, and some of the younger writers who have been doing some writing, because some of the horror and anthology stuff has been come back, because Boris Karloff has been rebooted. I haven't seen the third issue since those first two, which were really terrible. Some of them had some good art, some of them not. But I said had the Boris Karloff, the new EC stories, and that other book, Tales of the Bizarre. It's like all those writers should just sit down and read a bunch of these stories to learn how to tell a short story, how to craft a story. And that's where they'll find it. Then we go here to, this is still from 1974, I think it was, Red Circle Comics Group, which of course was Archie. And Red Circle Sorcery this title had originally been Sabrina's Chilling Tales of Sorcery. Chilling Adventures in Sorcery. Yeah, that's what it was. And there was like either 3 or 4 issues that were done with Sabrina as the horror host, and it was drawn in the traditional Archie style, but it just had the regular kind of spooky stories that you would find in this kind. And then they changed it up, made it a more conventional art style, and mostly largely gray marl. It is some really, really nice artwork in these, and he did some of the writing as well. I think it's some great stuff, and even more gruesome. I think this was the last issue on this run. I'm not sure. It might have been one afterwards, but they only did 2 or 3 issues under just the title of, was then Chilling Adventures in Sorcery, I think, and then just Sorcery, Red Circle Sorcery. And these were the beginnings of what eventually, in more recent years, became Archie's Archie horror line, but this is long before that, and some really well done. And then we're going to get out of the Bronze Age into the Copper Age. This is from 1993. I just looked. 93, I think it was. 92 was The Thing from Another World. And I just covered a Thing story in that Dark Horse Comics issue of Dark Horse Comics, and this is from Dark Horse Comics. It's a 4-issue miniseries called Climate of Fear, and of course it's a Thing, and it is a sequel to the 1980s John Carpenter movie of The Thing, starring Kurt Russell. And this storyline features the Kurt Russell character, sort of the direct sequel to that. And he was found at death's door and taken to, but here we find out that the Thing had survived, and they take him to some base in, I think it's in Patagonia, down in southern South America, and in the jungle. And there's a lot of, it's really horrifying. I mean, it's very well written and beautifully drawn, and it is just as horrifying as you can see here. Just as horrifying. Trying to focus that a little bit, as the stuff you saw in the movie. There's some really nice stuff. And it was, as I said, it was a 4-issue miniseries. That's issue 1. This is issue 2 of 4. You can see the same creative team. So really, really nice, and really, and some scary. I got these 2 out of order. The Thing from issue 3. Look at that. And of course, science fiction horror. This is horror. And this is kind of stuff I like. This is really, really well done. But it kind of ends in a little like this, little the same way as the Thing movie did. Run, Mac, run. Oh, people being taken over. Until finally, I think, yeah. Oh, look at this huge critter. Oh, it's gigantic, and I wound up having to take it out with napalm. That's good. So that is what I wanted to share with you this time, for a little touch of Halloween. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think of the Gold Key, the Red Circle, or the Thing from Another World. And remember, comics our art.